So I want to point out, first of all, that she's falling into a fallacy around weight and health. So if higher weight people have a health issue more than thinner people do, we cannot automatically assume, oh, it's because of their body size and the solution is to change their body size. The basic principles of research say correlation does not equal causation, and we have to look for confounding variables. And in this case, the research shows three contenders. So there's weight stigma, which Peter Munich out of Columbia, his studies found that weight stigma was correlated with the same health issues to which being higher weight was correlated. There's weight cycling, which is yo-yo dieting, the most common outcome of more than one dieting attempt, which is associated with increased inflammation, increased cardiac incidence, and which Bacon and Aframore found in their paper could account for the entire difference in mortality that was associated with being higher weight in both Framingham and the Anheim study. And then we have healthcare inequality. And so we don't know what fat people's health outcomes would look like if they weren't constantly subjected to weight stigma, weight cycling, and healthcare inequalities like Deborah is trying to do with her billboard and her program. And so we have to look at the research. And what the research tells us is that the best way to support the mental and physical health of people at all sizes is to focus on bringing down barriers to access, bringing down oppression, and focusing on health promoting behaviors. And so this billboard and her program are doing the opposite of that.
Ragen, we got a little tough with Deborah, so I'm going to have to give it back to you a little bit. You made some statements about, people that are overweight, let's say, and it doesn't impact their overall health. And I have to, jump in there and say that that's just not so. That we know that carrying extra weight is not good for your heart. It's not good for your respiratory system. It may lead to diabetes. It's going to lead to more infections, to poor healing. You're at increased anesthetic risk. If you have any type of orthopedic surgery, you're more prone to fractures, non-healing fractures. If you have to get orthopedic surgery, outcomes are not as good. So whoever it is just saying, you know what, if you lose some weight, if you improve your lifestyle to a certain degree, that it's going to benefit your health across the board. I mean, you have to agree with that, right?
Well, let's look at the research. Studies like Matheson et al., Way et al., the Cooper Institute longitudinal studies, the Glenn Gazer study that just came out. And what we find is that even if heavier people are at a higher risk, the idea that trying to make them into thinner people will be the best solution simply isn't supported by the evidence. And so since we know that, the idea of having people weight cycle, right, and constantly telling them to try to lose weight, and then when they gain it all back, blaming them for that or them blaming themselves, and then having them do that process again and again is, again, associated with the same health outcomes to which we correlate heavier body.
Am I allowed to retort to that?
Go for it.
I don't know what studies those are, but they're absolute nonsense. I mean, I've seen it. I've been on the ground for 22 years. I have seen the obese patients who come in versus the non-obese with the same surgeries and the comorbidities, the diabetes that they have and the sleep apnea, and you throw a knee replacement on top of that. And they struggle, the risk of infection. This is not debate, this is science. The excess adipose tissue is a massive health hazard. The doctors just admitted that. And the other piece is, my program is the anti-yo-yo diet. It is a deep mindset shift. It's called brain first, body second for a reason. If I was all about losing weight, it would be body, body, body. Lose 30 pounds. No, it's about the deep mindset shift to stop negative self-talk, stop blaming yourselves, which, by the way, I tell women in the very first lesson, take yourself off the hook. It's not your fault. You have been fed yo-yo dieting your entire life. I'm not on a different page than you are here.